This video is shocking to watch. Three suspects approach a 19-year-old man in Sunset Park, push him to the floor, and punch and kick him. They use a knife to cut loose his backpack and then flee. The victim was treated and released from the hospital. Police described the suspects as Hispanic males in their late teens with thin builds. Please contact the NYPD if you have any information. Kanye West, who sparked a media firestorm after sporting a Make America Great hat and meeting with President Trump, has decided to take a step back from politics. He's been really active online recently, talking about important issues impacting the black community, and even followed me on Twitter after I defended his conversation with the president concerning the 13th Amendment. But his political advocacy is on hold for now, at least according to a tweet he sent out this morning. He also mentioned the hashtag Blexit, which refers to black voters leaving the Democratic Party, saying he never wanted that association. There is no indication, however, that the iconic star has any intention of distancing himself from President Trump. Some are crediting him with starting a conversation about prison reform and empowering black Americans to support any politician they want, including President Trump. Latest polling suggests he has had an impact, as black support of the president is now at 40%, with 25% strongly approving. Joining me now, political expert, director of public affairs with Kurtzman Strategies, Alex Gabriel. Alex, welcome to Chasing News. How are you?
Thank you. Great. Doing well.
So, Alex, since 2016, it seems the political landscape is changing almost by the day, maybe by the tweet. And my question to you is, are we seeing a demographic shift, particularly among black American voters? Poll came out just before Kanye West said, hey, I'm taking a step back out of politics, say that 25% now strongly supporting President Trump.
Sure. What I think we're actually seeing is not that shift. What we're seeing is a likely voters that are now going to be voting from the right, from the Republican side, to the Democratic Party. Kanye led the charge with Candace Owens with Blexit, but that seems to not be picking up any steam at all.
What do you attribute it to? I mean, I look at this and say, you've got Kanye West as a plain-speaking entertainer. He's been talking and communicating with people for years through his music. And then once he starts talking about real issues like the 13th Amendment, like prison reform, real things to real people, all of a sudden they're saying, hey, I'm going to attach a vote to that.
I think you're onto something there, and I agree with that. But I think what's happening in the political discourse and what's happening in the country right now, when you're having African Americans gunned down, when you're having pipe bombs sent to Democratic leaders across the country, there is something, I think, in Kanye that is kind of clicking finally, in the same way that it did with Taylor Swift, who was, you can argue, very apolitical and now was putting all of her weight behind Democratic candidates. I think the exact same thing is happening with Kanye, except on the other side.
Alex, thanks for joining me tonight. Nice talking to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, let's bring in our A-plus panel for tonight's show. Matt, what do you think? I mean, the storyline with Black Lives Matter is that this is an epidemic in the country of innocent people being killed and gunned down. We certainly see this happening, but what seems to be taking hold is something very different, that Donald Trump is speaking to real issues. And Kanye almost acted like an interpreter, saying, no, it's okay, guys.
If we want to talk about Black Lives Mattering, Donald Trump's the first president in a long time that has actually treated black lives like they do matter. And his policies have brought black unemployment to record lows. So, you know what? I think a lot of people are going to respond to somebody that just doesn't talk, they act. And that's what Trump's doing.
But I'm tired of Republicans acting like unemployment is the only issue that affects black America. I mean, there are other issues such as racism and Black Lives Matter movement and poverty and gun violence, and all of these issues also matter.
It's amazing what you can do for a culture if people have the dignity of work, they have opportunities, and they have the ability to go out and earn a paycheck and bring it home to their family. It's far and away the biggest issue.
Just quick to that point, a lot of people do talk about the violence in Newark and Patterson, Irvington, and all across New York and New Jersey. A lot of people will be quick to say, if people had jobs and something to do, you would not have as much violence as you have. I mean, liberals have said that.
Yes, but again, that's very patronizing to say, if you had a job, you wouldn't have this crime issue. I mean, crime is an issue. The mass incarceration is an issue. The criminal justice system
what the
is an
Democrat
issue.
Party says,
I mean,
take this check from the government and vote for us. That's what's condescending.
But maybe to your point, the incarceration rates, maybe that's exactly why when Kanye started talking about the 13th Amendment and prison reform, people woke up and said, hey, you're talking for me.
I mean, there's multiple polls that show that he's in the single digits with the African-American community. So, I mean, it can go either way.
Rasmussen had him at a third support not too long ago,
Yeah,
and
well,
I think that's real.
Between 15 and 25%, so we'll see. All right, thanks, guys. Well, obviously, we're going to know on Tuesday and then in a few years.